closed my eyes, shutting out the voices of the others. Trying to focus, I wrapped my Psi energy down my arm, fortifying the muscles from the inside. Even with Psi, beating Caleb was a long shot. But I was learning a lot about how to enhance my strength in very precise ways, and that was the point, I suppose. My elbow slipped on the makeshift table as Caleb pulled my hand closer to his. I resisted as he curled his palm inward, the same move he pulled on me last time. And... he slammed my hand back on the mat with a painful thump. No! I lost! It's because I don't love him enough. Or he doesn't love me enough to let me win. Damn it! The rookies that had gathered let out another round of groans and condolences. I was at least comforted by the fact no one cheered. Caleb gave me a smug grin as he stood, rolling his shoulders, but it softened as I bent to pick up a sweat towel I dropped earlier.
You held out a lot longer that time.
Still lost.
It would have been weirder if you won.
No, it was pretty great, actually.
You should have beaten her right away. You have enough practice and techniques under your belt, Caleb. Which makes it even more impressive since she held out that long with sheer strength, doesn't it? Caleb is right, Morgan. The goal wasn't for you to win, but to learn to manipulate Psi better.
I know. I just hate losing.
A sentiment with which I can agree. Nevertheless, it's enough if you accomplished your goal.
I think it did help.
I believe it's time to shift focus for a while, but perhaps a quick break is in order first.
I nodded to Birdie and Casey as they passed by on their way out. Now that the excitement was over, Vaughn was shooing everyone else out of the room. Odette shot me a brief smile before she headed out. Are we back? Yeah, we're back. Cool. Bye, Charisse. Get out of here. Probably no affection, right? Yep, no affection. Time to leave?
It is.
He gave me a long, careful look, eyes traveling up and down my form. I couldn't tell if it was approving or disapproving. But it was his first time seeing me in the uniform, too. It probably seemed strange.
Nervous.
Only a lot. Wouldn't you be? Interesting, he didn't comment on how she looked in it this time.
It's been years since I was nervous going out on assignment.
Well, it's been approximately never that I've been out on assignment before, so...
Let's go. There's a night ferry and transport waiting for us.
Sorry I don't have years of experience like you.
So am I.
I had to get partnered with the Grouch. How far away is the Starry?
You didn't read the mission briefing.
I glanced at it. It didn't have directions, you know.
It's a few hours, but a group of knights will ferry us to a high-speed transport. They'll take us to a nearby rendezvous point and we'll drive the rest of the way.
The briefing said we're overseeing cleanup of an incident earlier this morning.
Correct. Culprit is nowhere to be seen. Relic has already been recovered. We'll examine the scene, retrieve the relic, and return. The very definition of easy. I'm the team lead, so all you need to do is whatever I tell you.
That's a given.
Good. As long as you don't do anything unnecessary, it'll be fine.
I'll do my best.
Do better than your best. Remember what happened last time.
To be fair, that wasn't an assignment.
All the more reason to be even more cautious this time. Just stay close to me and don't do anything stupid.
Seems simple enough. And so I left for my first assignment out in the field, a bundle of 1,000 emotions. There we go. Emotions! He was investigating something that happened the previous day.
That fountain thing.
I was surprised for only a split second. I guess it should have been obvious you knew about that.
Probably.
Anyway, yes. He was investigating the man, the one who was standing in the fountain. Reuben was waiting for me outside my apartment the next morning.
Charming.
Says the kidnapper.
You...
Me?
You didn't show up for our meeting that afternoon, and when I tried to reach out, you were already gone.
There were some sudden developments. There wasn't time to take care of things or notify anyone. Are we... Nope.
Anything to do with that man at the fountain, by any chance?
I can't say it wasn't related to him. Can't say it was, either.
I see. We caught his trail again, but he was heading into Delphine. There wasn't much we could do about that, so we had to let him go.
He got out of that vivarium safely! Yes, I let Rory live again. Of course I had to. Okay, we're gonna go neutral option this time. I did choose this. It wasn't my first choice, of course, but after a day of getting chased and shot at by people eager to get their hands on their very own queen rank, I thought Endgame was the best option. I shot him a crooked grin I hoped was reassuring, though I had to admit he didn't look reassured. He just looked sad. I mean, I could have joined Crimson, apparently, or run off to lurk around with the court in Delphine, but I decided to forego a potential life of crime and remain an upstanding citizen. At least, Endgame isn't full of kidnappers. Caleb shifted, an audible snort coming from him. Given my smirk and Caleb's reaction, Ruben was just looking between us questioningly. It's a lovely place. Everyone is incredibly polite at all times, very encouraging. They gave me my very own tutor, who is quite possibly the most congenial human I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. I was barely holding in the laugh, but could feel Caleb's scowl boring into me. I was sure he'd get revenge later on. I really am fine.
Well, seeing you with Endgame answers a lot of questions I had.
Are we... Nope, not yet.
Such as the edits to your profile, the supposed travel plans that made no sense, your family disappearing. We knew someone big had to be involved. And of course, Endgame made the most sense. We didn't expect you had joined them, though.
Surprise?
As touching as this reunion has been, we are here for a specific reason, if you'll all remember.
Thank you, Caleb. I highly doubt any of us forgot.
In that case, I'd like to hear more about these casualties you mentioned.
Music change. There we go. I'm learning things. Alright, so he's holding you, but this time, I swallowed hard, willing myself to push away from him and stand. My breath was coming in shaking gasps, but the ringing in my ears was fading at least. I'm sorry. I need some air. My voice was thick and hoarse when I managed to choke out the words. I was already backing away from them.
Morgan!
I'm sorry! I turned and fled the building at a run. Dang. Caleb called after me again as I burst into the sunlight outside and kept running. On instinct, I somehow directed myself to where there were no people, an empty building nearby. I stopped just inside it. Whew, interesting. She got herself there this time. The quiet, warm sun filtering through the windows, the soft sound of it creaking in the wind, those things helped me feel more grounded again. I staggered further inside, groping my way to something I could sit on to catch my breath and collect my thoughts. I'd expected one of them to follow me, and I expected it to be Caleb. So when Wynter Ashton stepped through the door, I was surprised. Yo, boy, you don't even go here. What's up with you? I'm just kidding. I love Wynter.
There you are. Sorry to follow you, but we haven't secured all the buildings yet. It might be best to not wander around too much.
Sorry. I didn't mean to cause more work for anyone.
Come on, you're not causing more work. I was just worried, that's all.
He took a seat next to me, studying my face for a moment.
You okay? Caleb said something about psychometry.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Those kinds of things are still overpowering.
I wouldn't know, I guess. But it looked intense.
It was. Those poor people. I feel woefully unprepared for all this.
That's a given. A month ago you were just a student. They can't have had time to prepare you for this sort of thing.
I rubbed the side of my face, knowing I'd had this conversation many times. They've done their best.
I'm skeptical.
Don't let Caleb hear you say that unless you want an argument on your hands.
I know better than to get into it with an elite rook. But I'm still skeptical.
I guess some people think they can't let their new queen rank hide in the tower forever.
A few weeks is hardly forever.
I guess so, but here I am.
I'm sorry we didn't act to protect you sooner. Reuben suspected you were an Esper after meeting you. We had no way of knowing you were a queen rank.
Even I didn't know that much back then.
What happened that day?
Everything? In the span of a few hours, I found out I'm a queen rank Esper. I found out people were after me. I was shot at, attacked, scared out of my wits. I knocked down a building. I was chased in the rain. And, in the end, I found myself at Solaris. I don't know what you could have done to protect me. There was no way you could know it was needed. Maybe we'll find out in Reuben's route someday, Morgan. Maybe. He hesitantly covered my hand with his own and smiled with a slight regretfulness. Wynter out here with the plays!
Sounds like it was a rough day.
It was. But I'm alive, so that's something to be grateful for.
You shouldn't be forced to join that group if you don't want it.
It's where ranked Espers go.
Not everyone agrees with that.
I know. He gave my hand a squeeze and released it. Wynter!
Is it alright for me to ask what you saw earlier? I'd like to hear about that too.
Oh, dang! Caleb be pissed at seeing the hand-holding going on. Also, hold on, I need to go back. Yeah, I'm like, did Wynter change clothes? I think Caleb stared into his soul so hard that he just, like, lost color and then it was like, I need to put on a coat. It got cold in here real quick. Wow, that is stark. Huh. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. Okay. Anyway. He and Caleb were lurking by the door, the latter with a dark scowl on his face. I can't imagine why. I looked away, heat creeping into my face. I hadn't realized they were there. I can't believe I ran away like that.
If you're okay describing it. We need to know what you saw. Even if it's hard. Sorry, Morgan.
It's not like I saw anything I can't handle. It was just a lot at once. I wasn't ready for it.
Just take your time.
Is this... not yet. It's still jumbled. I saw snippets of a conversation that happened right before the relic went off. They'd gotten caught up in something. Smuggling, I guess. I think one person wanted to keep some of them, but the others weren't up for it. They mentioned someone, a he, and said he has eyes everywhere. They were worried he'd catch on to what they were doing here.
The ringleader, maybe.
That's the feeling I got. They also mentioned a contract in New Albion. I think that's where they were taking the relics.
So there was more than one relic here?
That's what they were suggesting, yes.
We haven't found any more here so far, but we didn't search the compound completely. We were more focused on the body count once we detected human DNA. We'll need to check New Albion too. We can't let any of these things get in the city. I agree. Anything else, Morgan?
There was an argument, a scuffle. A relic activated, but I think it was an accident. Everyone was caught in it. The results were... well, you saw what happened to them.
A disagreement, then. How senseless. We'll have to be careful searching. We don't want to set off more of these things. We already know that.
Are we... nope, still not yet.
Feels like something big is happening. Bigger than we thought at first. I don't say it much, but I guess you're better equipped to handle this than we are. I expected protest about us taking over. I know when I'm in over my head. I'm glad at least someone does. Morgan, wait here. I need to contact the tower. I hope you boys don't mind if we leave the cleanup to you for now. You always do. We'll be sending in a group of seasoned psychometrists to see if they can glean more details about what happened. For now, if your team finds additional relics, cordon off the area and don't touch them. You don't have to tell us twice. Not after we all saw what the last one did to the people here.
Caleb left me alone with the two of them. Nope. I'm sorry for running out like that earlier, for causing a disruption.
There's no need to apologize for that. We just wanted to be sure you were okay.
I'm getting used to this kind of thing.
At any rate, it's good we now know there may be more of them around. We'll exercise extra caution as we examine the area.
Reuben rubbed the back of his neck, huffing in annoyance.
I hope you realize you can reach out for help if you need it. Not sure what I could do for you at this point, but...
Thanks for the offer.
I'll go back and check the teams. Tell them what we know. I'm glad I could see you again, Miss Leone.
It's just Morgan.
Good luck, Morgan.
Same to you.
Leone! We're leaving! Kellner, show us where this relic is so we can go.
Well, Caleb is... bellowing, so I guess that's my cue to leave too.
Queen's Rook, huh?
Hey, I didn't pick him. He was assigned to me, thank you very much.
Lucky you.
Yeah, right. Well, I guess he's not so bad. He tries to look out for me, as much as they let him anyway. But I should probably get going before he gets more annoyed at everything. Alright. So, how grumpy are you at me? Why does that sound like an insult?
Maybe it is.
I guess I should be used to your insults by now. He tipped his head back, a playful grin coming to his lips.
And maybe it isn't.
You're so irritating sometimes.
Want me to take you back to that detective so he can whisk you back to your old life where I'm sure you received endless praise for everything you did?
Damn. I worked hard for any praise I got, thank you very much.
Well, I guess you wouldn't have gotten as far as you did if you didn't. You worked too hard here, too.
Somehow we found our way to the same bench as last time.
You're...
Are we... Okay, we're back. I'm fine! My voice rose unexpectedly, and I realized it was all too clear I wasn't as fine as I was trying to be. I breathed out, closing my eyes. I'm fine. I don't want to talk about it.
I didn't mean to touch a nerve. I wanted to know if you were all right.
I am okay. He placed his hands on my shoulders, giving me a serious look.
You don't have to be okay, Morgan. No one whose opinion matters expects you to always be okay.
I know that. I'm scared if I let myself not be okay, even once, I'll lose it.
It's not good to bottle things up.
Speaking from experience, that's kind of what I was thinking.
I am, yes. Look, I get what you're trying to say, but I'm telling you I know when to blow off steam and talk to people. You need to learn the same thing. Know when it's too much and do something about it. People like us can't afford to let stuff build until it boils over. Got it?
I really am okay. I just don't want to see that image again, that's all. Not this late at night and before bed. I've been trying to keep my mind off it.
Then I'm sorry for bringing it up.
No, I'm sorry for getting upset. I guess I haven't found a good way to decompress yet. I didn't even realize how much it was weighing on me until you brought it up. Okay. And the hand on the head. It was a gentle reassurance that reminded me a little of the sort of things my older brothers would do when they were trying to cheer me up. What chapter are we in? Just out of curiosity. Okay, we're only halfway through. Being in the brother zone halfway through is not the end of the world. It's fine. It was a very Caleb thing to do, and that somehow made me smile. Even if it wasn't the most effusive show of fondness, I had a feeling he wouldn't even be here with me if he didn't like me. And that thought made me somehow glad. The little flutters in my stomach I tried to ignore, but it felt like they were getting progressively louder each day. He was so frustrating. But these little glimpses I caught of the man he could be when he wasn't trying so hard to push people away, I wanted to see more of them. Nice. Hey, Olsen. Sorry, Olsen. We're still accusing you of things. I apologize. Wow, we went so far. Okay, triggering of the relics. And they still don't know what triggered it earlier today?
The scans have found nothing, but they rarely do. We're fortunate you were nearby when it activated.
Oh, interesting. She didn't deduce that it was Magnus's doing this time. We're fortunate it self-destructed before it discharged.
Now, it wasn't that dire. The relic they had in the containment unit is one we acquired a few months ago. Its abilities seem to be harmless. It's one of the few we are reasonably sure how to work.
Then why would it activate like that?
Who knows?
You son of a...
Yep. He was across the room, gripping Magnus by the front of his shirt in seconds.
Did you do it?
What are you implying, Caleb?
I asked you if you activated that damn thing on purpose!
I would have expected Ari to stop Caleb, or for any of them to stop him. But none of them did. Caleb...
I asked you a question, Magnus!
I was the one who stood and set a hand on Caleb's arm. Dr. Saskia will come throw you out if you keep shouting.
Morgan is right. However, I also believe we should hear Magnus's answer.
As Morgan successfully deactivated the relic, does it matter how it activated?
Yes, it does!
Don't bother. Would there be a reason to avoid answering if he didn't do it?
Wow. She's already got you figured out, Magnus. She hasn't even been here that long.
You said it wasn't a dangerous one? Is there a way to know that for sure?
I had someone standing by to get you out of the lab if it was necessary.
So you really planned everything, and I walked right into it.
I understand your frustration, but the situation we're in necessitates risk-taking from us all. We're in a particularly precarious position, and understanding how your Psi reacts to the relics is important, whether you're able to deactivate them, or they simply react to your Psi by self-destructing. We need to understand that ability.
We should not be experimenting with actual people, Magnus. What you did was dangerous.
Everyone, just stop, please. Nothing will be solved by this arguing.
Are you saying you're fine with what this bastard—
No! I'm not saying that. And if he wants to risk someone's safety going forward, it should be his own, not mine or anyone else's. I'm just saying that if someone is mass-producing relics, it's a serious problem. If I can somehow cause a reaction in them...
Being able to cause a reaction isn't the same as being able to control them, Morgan. And there's no safe way for you to hone the skill to get it to that point.
Even so, she's disrupted and destroyed 2 of them.
At what cost? Look at her! She hasn't come out unscathed either time.
Perhaps not. But even so, we may end up needing that power.
I'll do what I have to do. But if I can get some sort of reaction from them that shuts them down, you should be able to as well, Magnus. After all, you can activate them. It would be nice if you weren't putting everything on my shoulders, right? And next time you want to experiment, I expect you to tell me first.
I'll do my best to remember that.
Do better than your best.
The meeting was entirely derailed after that, but the important part of what Magnus wanted to discuss was over anyway. Okay. Later I learned that Magnus had activated the lab scanners long before the relic came online. They recorded everything down to my Psi and the relic's precise energy output. Another indication just how planned the incident was. It was exhausting to think about, and I just wanted to get to my room to rest. so I was relieved when you finally released me. I wasn't surprised when one of the others, specifically Caleb, walked me back.
How's the arm?
I already told you. I'll live.
I can see that you'll live. That isn't the point.
You would probably disagree.
Oh, he's you now.
He suggested I call him that, yes. Look, I know the point is that I shouldn't have been hurt in the first place, but nothing's going to change from being angry about it.
Nothing will change if you treat Magnus like he can get away with this.
He already did get away with it, unless you think someone is sitting in the shadows ready to mete out consequences.
Huh. Unlikely.
That's my point. At least I was able to use Ari's lessons to put up a decent shield.
You should have got out as soon as you realized what was happening.
So we're going to do this again. Caleb, I was barely aware of my surroundings at that point.
People were literally shouting your name.
You try having your consciousness sucked into a piece of alien technology and see how responsive you are to people calling your name, Caleb. And why am I suddenly being yelled at over this? I wasn't the one who activated the thing.
Because you have to learn to respond faster when things like this happen. You can't just stand there. This is why I said you weren't ready.
Ready for what? To go down to a lab? To exist? I wasn't on an assignment. Do I have to have training just to walk around now? I'll never be ready for this kind of thing. I can only take each situation as it comes to me and make what seems like the best choice as it happens.
You have no idea how important you are to this place.
Really? To this place? He stood there a moment, his jaw working.
Just get to your place and get some rest.
He turned on his heel and started away. Great, and he is just leaving like that. This turned out to be a lousy day. Blurg. Stupid face. Alright, we're gonna turn away from... You guys still gonna smooch, though? Because there's even more tension in the sweet ending than there was in the passionate ending. Leading up to this kiss, I swear. I don't have to prove it, Caleb. You and I both know it's true. I turned away, not feeling in the mood to deal with him, even if he was apologizing. He grabbed my arm, staying my movement.
Don't leave.
Let go of me!
Morgan, please.
I planted my hands on his chest and pushed, but he didn't budge. For a long moment, everything was still. Yeah, and then he went for the smooch, let's go! Then he cupped my face in his hands and leaned to plant a fiery kiss to my lips. I let out a muffled gasp, barely able to register what was happening. By the time his hands found their way to my back, my frustration had been swallowed by the heat of my suddenly warming stomach. Under the force of his kiss, I found myself taking several steps back, until I hit the wall and there was nowhere else to go. Ooh! This is an alternate CG. I like it a lot. For reasons. Caleb was there in front of me, pressing against me, so I couldn't have gone anywhere even if I wanted to. Though, I didn't want to, just for the record. The weight of my frustration was buried beneath the weight of his abrupt kiss. His lips, his arms, his hands were so demanding I didn't have time to think about anything else. I didn't want to think about anything else. My hands raked through his hair, holding him close as our lips clashed, raspy breaths heating the air between us. Caleb let out a pleased rumble, pressing me harder to the wall, his hips rolling against mine pleasantly. My legs went weak, and I clung to him as his tongue swept alongside mine, another groan sounding across my lips. One hand traced a frantic line up the side of my leg, my hip, before gripping my wrist and pressing it to the wall and sliding it above my head. A soft whimper escaped. Oh no, we had to stop. I needed to push him away. I couldn't find the strength to do it. The one thing clear to me was how much I had wanted this. Wanted him. When Caleb finally pulled away, the silence was broken only by the sounds of our heavy breathing. He waited only a beat before he pulled away, cursing under his breath and dragging his hands through his hair. I thought he mumbled an apology as he rushed out the door. Whee! I stared after him in a daze. That was unexpected. Damn it. Could this day get any weirder? Any more frustrating? My fingertips wandered to my lips and I let out a strangled sigh. I would never be able to sleep now. Never.